Just like most games, Fallout 3's got some DLC, most of which were designed to be, in fact, DLC. Yo dudes and dudettes, this is Ketchu, here to answer the question that was actually asked. Sorta, can you beat Fallout 3's DLC by choosing the most negative dialogue first? The first DLC on the list, chronologically, seemed to be Operation Aneurysm. Before attempting this piece of content, I made sure to do no research of any kind. And just like with DIY home electrical repair, I wanted to go in blind and see what sparks up. I'm picking up right where we left off in Fallout 3 last time. Cruella's the name, being a buttmunch is the game. Quick recap, there was a glass saucer, I slipped in a vial of bad news while Lyons was distracted. Sent her to punch the console, cue the white light. Dreams of our heroic deeds where almost everyone died. And then 2 weeks later, we woke up to the real game. The Lyons gave me a jump scare when I woke up. His leathery mug was the first thing I saw. I grabbed enough bricks to build a city. He asked me to work with the Brotherhood again, and I gave him a hard no.
Should you change your mind, Scribe Rothschild can brief you on what's been going on these last few weeks.
Oh, I bet he'd love to see me again. I ditched Lyons and headed to the next room for a classic 12-hour nap, because no way was I waking up to that face again. Running around stealing some stuff, my pockets got quickly over uncomfortable. I was already stuffed from my previous adventures, and so I got lost in the Citadel looking for a trader. It's a miracle I didn't end up in Narnia. While adrift in confusion for an eternity, I met Elder Maxson and tried intimidating him. Didn't work. Was I flabbergasted to see him there? You bet. After an extended period of clock spins, I gave in and scanned the wiki for directions. First, go inside the A-ring, take the stairs down into the labs, jump further down. Behind one of the lab rooms, there is a door. That's where I found the quartermaster. I would have never found her without looking it up. I stole all the water I could before leaving, drank some to lighten my pockets, and met my old nemesis. The consequences of my actions. Why do bad things keep happening to me? On my second attempt to head out, some lunatic came running, screaming something about a missing phone. I calmly responded to her insanity by slapping her with my order shotgun. It's okay, I only took care of the water thief. Further into the great outdoors, I inspected a turret I've never seen before. Got into a struggle with a merry band of enclave soldiers. Used the turret's help to take them down, and wrapped myself snugly in their armor. Though I did wonder if hiding my beautiful face with a helmet was worth it. After playing hopscotch in a local minefield and peekaboo with a turret, I had a small skirmish with some raiders and finally reached the door to Bailey's Crossroads Metro. Inside, nothing but a few ghouls. On the other side, a friendly greeting from an outcast, typical green skins who evaded the virus water, and a rare gymnastic variant super mutant. After putting the muties to sleep, Defender Morris asked me why I was there in the first place. I just stopped in to ransack the place. Didn't expect to find anyone. He found my answer funny and asked about my Pip-Boy. I told him he can't have it. He then told me to go and meet their leader.
Oh, great. Just what we need.
Taking the elevator down, I met this guy who sounds just like a ghoul. No offense.
Alright, you. Keep your weapons holstered, your hands to yourself, and your mouth shut. Follow me.
That's not how you treat a lady. Meeting Protector McGraw, I asked him if they were cannibals. He said no. He then asked me to take part in some simulation to unlock an armory. Oh great, let me guess. More psychotic little girls?
No.
Put that down.
Okay. Defender Cool Voice led me to the simulation room, where I got to meet this fine lady.
You're here to help? Fine, then put this on. Get in the chair, and we'll run the simulation.
Oh, I get it. You're doing the tough routine.
What? Is that some kind of joke?
Oddly. If this was a joke, I'd be laughing. After inspecting my new sweet pajamas, I entered the simulation. Ah, freaking knew it! Upon waking up inside the simulation, I met Sarge Montgomery. He told me to battle my way through a small deposit of breads and meet him again later. My enemies have no idea who they're dealing with, and that's because I haven't introduced myself yet. Does that armor make me think of Knights of the Old Republic or Mass Effect? I can't decide. Trying to assassinate the first target was already proving difficult since my shot seemed to be landing somewhere to the left of me. Upon leveling up, I cranked my repair skill close to the max and picked silent running as my next perk, remembering how much sneaks helped me in the past. Believe it or don't, prowling my way through the valley wasn't all that interesting or difficult. Killing the enemies was about as easy as accidentally backing over the family dog in your driveway. Inside the cave outpost, I played with the enemy soldiers by taking them off the sensors, and found it amusing that the items inside the simulation pulsate glowing red, further gamifying the experience. They also made this annoying high-pitched noise, which kept irritating me both in the short and long term. Reuniting with Charge, I gave him the most negative answers I could muster, but he took them as a friendly banter. I went outside for the first time since the last time, and felt personally attacked that my beautiful face was once again hidden. I went off-roading a bit and found some intel. 1 out of 10. I hope this was a bonus objective instead of a mandatory thing. Fearing looming backtracking, I began snooping all the corners very thoroughly to avoid that possible outcome. Trucking on, I took out more reds and noticed Charge is an impeccable shot who will steal my XP if I'm not fast enough. I seduced another door, found more intel, made my way through a cave passage, fought against some doomsday preppers and faced a flamer. Even with small funds at 100, I found guns to be somewhat inaccurate, considering that and the lack of iron sights. I can understand why people say Fallout 3 isn't exactly a good shooter. Wrangling my way through a terminal and a locked door netted me my third piece of intel. Still no clue what they're good for. At this point, I threw sneak out the barrel and used spray and spray tactic to push through into the artillery overlook, where our goal was to plant explosives in the artillery guns. Nobody told me to get out of the blast zone. On round 2, I planted the explosive, got the frig away from it, and witnessed a flamer with kangaroo gasoline inside it. After planting the last explosive, I tried to make my way into a nearby bunker to hump, eat, kill and steal, not specifying the order, but got ripped into the white void and forced into a conversation with General Chase instead. The General told me they don't need hotshots breaking protocol, and he'd shove a size 10 food up my butt. I earned me a demerit, followed by a field promotion. This confusion was all thanks to my verbal assault and probably something else. He then showed me a bunch of nothing on the map and tried to explain what I'm supposed to do next. Sadly, I was sick at the time. A bad case of who gives a crap. Pip-Boy to the rescue. I needed to talk to Lieutenant Morgan. Assuming I had to leave the tent, I tried and failed to exit the fabric box, because I needed to use the terminals to requisition a strike team and a personal gear package before leaving. Fiddling with the terminals and pressing all the things got me nowhere. After touching the door and messing with the letterbox again, I realized the princess I was looking for was actually in this castle all along. My attempts at vocal vomit came out like I was trying to sound cool. The game was still on.
Cocky bastard, aren't you?
Following his instructions, I touched the terminals again, tried to leave, didn't work. I kept pushing buttons on both consoles until something worked and I was finally out into the real game. That was needlessly hard. Guess who works for us now? Good old Surgeon Montgomery. He made sounds with his mouth and I told him to stop the chit-chat. He was sorry. I tried to replace him on the team, but that wasn't an option. We got two options here. Send the Suicide Squad to location A or B. I chose option A. No idea where/what that is. As I was leaving, I realized that I didn't pick up any weapons from the quartermaster yet. Next challenge was fighting the said fellow. I located a stunning redhead in one of the tents. She handed me chems. That was dope. Upon locating the gear dispenser, I speeched him into giving me some extra stuff, earning me a gauze rifle. I also received an assault rifle, which wasn't what I tried to request. In the end, I couldn't get this simple thing right, but I was finally ready for the lifetime of mental health issues whose war is going to reward me with. Arriving over at one of the locations, northeast of somewhere, I was surprised to find my strike team there. I told them to wait behind while I collect all the experience. Trying to kill a sniper with an assault rifle was such a pain. I don't think it would hit the ground upon being thrown at it. Despite my orders, the shots followed me into the battlefield, making me work hard for that experience. This part was actually quite difficult. I had no healing meds of my own, so I had to rely on the healing stations, and came close to dying many times. Losing limbs was also not out of my bingo list that day. Inside the listening post, a new kind of enemy, stealth suits. How fun! This part was also kicking my butt. I actually had to be careful and abuse Psycho, but I was starting to enjoy myself. The enemies with chameleon enchantments were making me paranoid, and just like a short person at a urinal, I had to be on my toes. The ghost rifle came in handy on occasion too. It at least hits where I'm aiming, but the annoying part is that it covers nearly half the screen. Back outside, my companion tried to eat some lead impromptu, and then assaulted me with conversation, while we clearly weren't done with the cleanup.
There is a soldier right next to you, idiot.
I sent him to the last available location before taking out the last Dark Brotherhood member. There were a lot of missiles to be found, which was puzzling since I didn't find any launchers for them. Maybe I was supposed to throw them at the enemy. Back at the sports camp, I ordered me a sniper package in hopes of getting a gun that hits where I aim, and took part in a crew photo, which I of course ruined by moving at the last second.
Check your fire.
I actually remember to grab my new gear before proudly leaving the camp that time around. Just past the gate, I spectated a fun and effective practice of foreign relations being executed. Despite the sniper rifle's perceived accuracy, it didn't mean the universe couldn't block my bullets with poor hit detection. As I was wasting time and bullets, a dog sneaked up behind me and spooked the living bejesus out of me. The fact that I couldn't destroy the snowman or find my way out of bounds also disappointed me. Later, I came across some captured American hostages. Sadly, I didn't get to them in time, and they didn't make it. Next surprise came in the form of skittering Chinese knockoff facehuggers. It was like round-based skeet shooting. Upon reaching the Chimera depot whatever, I tried stealing one of their tanks, but sadly, it wasn't meant to be. Behind the next corner, an active tank tried to turn me into an ugly Swiss cheese. Never before have I seen a tank in a Fallout game. It behaved as expected and kept ramming against the wall trying to get to me. I finished it off slowly with some grenades. It was like Chinese water torture for the both of us. After that, all that was left was planting 2 explosives, staying clear the blast zone, this time, and I was back on the bus. Next quest, Operation Aneurysm. Strolling through some trenches, I found a shell-shocked soldier. I'm sad to inform you, he didn't make it in the end either. The trenches were quite fun. There were flamers, a titan who didn't believe in bullets, I remembered Watts was a thing, and loads of missiles. Also, one of my fellow countrymen scared the bullet out of me by sneaking up too close. There was also a rocketeer with nerve missiles or something, because he shot a projectile point blank and neither of us took any damage. Weird to be on this side of the fireworks. After finding my last intel, which was number 8, I disabled the pulse field, crossed the meadows with glowing earth nipples that didn't react to shooting, got my limbs blasted off by friendly fire, and entered into a conversation with General Asshat.
I'm going to kill you so much.
He was an interesting fellow, also didn't believe in bullets, and ate lead like a champ. I'm not exactly sure who I pissed off, but somebody disabled me with a ghost rifle by turning me into a noodle. On round 2, the conversation didn't happen. We just stood there awkwardly staring at each other. If something was going to defeat me, it was social anxiety caused by the awkward silence. Round 3 was the same. I figured I'd have to take a step back, disable the pulse field again, avoid getting my limbs removed, save before entering the pain in the behind cutscene, and challenge the general again. Applying the tactic I dubbed gun and run, I licked the general with enough bullets to reach the center of that sucker. After that, General Chase arrived on the scene and without any way to mess up the conversation, told me the simulation was over. Back in the real game, Protect the McRolax informed me that the armory was now open, and I got back on my pedaling limbs.
Freaking finally!
Inside the armory, I nabbed everything I could take out, including a sweet Chinese stealth armor.
Mine.
Then Mr. Cool Voice decided to start a mutiny and killed McGrath and the tough lady. Curious to see if I could save them instead, I reloaded a safe and tried to subdue the mutinators.
Oops.
Third time's the charm. I managed to turn the tide and save my new friends. McGrath thanked me and basically invited me to come back and take more stuff if I needed it. At first, I thought they got all uppity because I took the power armor, but that wasn't it, so I nabbed it and left the Tesla armor behind. Back on top, I admired my work and my new armor.
Find someone else to bother, Lobo.
Okay.
And I beat Operation Anchorage while choosing all the most negative dialogue options first. And that's it for this time, folks. To be perfectly honest, there wasn't that much dialogue going on. If you'd like to see me try this on another DLC, let me know. I haven't played them, so I have no idea what's going on. We can also just do them all in order, just for funsies. Do the engagement thing to help me out. Tell me in the comments what I could have done better, or if you have other challenges/games for me to play. Thanks for watching, see you next time, take care now, bye bye then.